It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
And welcome to the Quinn restaurant, Lincoln and Landis Avenue in Vineland. I have our Assemblyman Antwan McClellan. He's going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes. And before he does, though, I want to mention to you what a fabulous deal they have at the Quinn restaurant. You hear about all the inflation and all that stuff. It hasn't hit the Quinn, folks. I have with me a menu here that lists the items that they have for $16 for one or $30 for two. And they include everything, folks. Salad, entree, vegetable, and dessert for just $15 if you have a friend. If you're by yourself, it's $16. So come on into the Quinn restaurant, and we'll be back with our guest who just came in. And we'll be joined by Antwan McClellan, our Assemblyman, right after these messages.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great health care for everyone.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Welcome back to the Quinn restaurant at Lincoln and Landis Avenue in Vineland. I have one of my favorite assemblymen with me, Antwan McClellan. Antwan, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, any better? I'd be Antwan McClellan. Now, I got to tell you, we're starting off with the tough questions because some county commissioner, you and I might know, told me to go after him. So, first of all, happy birthday to that county commissioner.
Yes, happy birthday, Bobby Barr. Yes.
And so, I think I know what, this is up to you to know. Bobby, unlike somebody else I know, is not an Eagles fan.
He is not.
What
He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, unfortunately.
I heard you're a Detroit Lions fan.
Yes.
Okay. But you are a Phillies fan.
But yes, absolutely.
Okay. Who's Bobby like in Atlanta Braves? They do.
Yeah, in baseball. He's a Braves fan in baseball. Yes, yeah. And then he's a Lakers fan in basketball. Okay. He's all over the map.
He sure is.
Yes.
He's got the country covered. East to west.
Exactly.
So, talking about Bobby, he started out as a councilman in Ocean City.
Yes.
You?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was on before him, and then he followed probably maybe about 2 years after I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so we grew up together. So we went to school together.
Did you go to Ocean City High School?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes, yeah.
So you're both young kids.
Yes.
When's your birthday?
My birthday's in July.
Okay. So
yes.
Just had yours.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
Yes, happy birthday.
So I'll tell you, I mean, I'm so impressed with what I knew about Bobby. I mean, here Bobby is in a wheelchair. He was going door to door in Ocean City, right?
Absolutely.
And in Ocean City, you have different wards you run.
Yes, so we have 4 ward seats, and then we have 3 at-large seats. Right. Yes, so the wards, and my ward I was the second ward, so I was 4th Street, north of 4th Street, to south of 12th Street.
Okay.
And Bobby was the 4th ward, so he started around 22nd Street and had the rest of the island.
Wow.
Yes. And he was out there humping it in his wheelchair with some help. They would go up to the door, and then the people would either come out, or if he could make it to the door, he would make it to the door.
Yeah.
Unbelievably strong-willed, and he's always been that way.
Yeah, great guy.
Yes.
And of course, the other thing I should say, when Bobby was running on the city council in Ocean City, what party was he?
He started as a Democrat and then became a Republican.
And what do you think changed him?
I don't know. It could have been his boss.
We all know it was Jeff Van Drew.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And it's funny because Bobby, and rightfully so, thinks the world of Jeff Van Drew. Jeff was his boss.
Yes.
Jeff, up until, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago,
4 years.
He switched over. It was interesting, too, Antwan, during the period of time that he was still a Democrat, Congressman Van Drew, he put together the Van Drew slate.
Yes.
And ran against you and Eric, right?
Yes.
And
Michael Testa. Yes.
And it was interesting because, to Jeff Van Drew's credit, Cape May County is like 80% Republican.
Yes.
And he would win it. I mean, he would win it because he was tenacious. He was door knocking. People in Cumberland County loved him. And, of course, at that time, before Joe Condo came, Cumberland County used to be a Democratic county.
Yes,
now
absolutely.
It's all Republican.
Yes.
that Joe Condo.
that Joe Condo and Senator Testa did some magic.
Yeah,
yes,
they
absolutely.
really did. I mean, it was interesting. I mentioned when I was a county freeholder and I was on the board, and one of the people, I don't know if you know him, super guy, is Joe Spracio.
I don't know him that well, but I know him.
He is a wonderful person. He sat next to me. He was the only Republican. So in the counties, there are 10 elected positions that you know. Well, here in Cumberland County, it's 10.
No, in Cumberland, it's 5.
5 and 3. You have the sheriff, the surrogate, and the county clerk.
Yes.
That's what I say. So when you add them to the 5,
it's 8.
And here there's 7, so you have 8, we had 10. So at that time, Joe Spracio was the only Republican out of the 10 people that run for elected office in Cumberland County.
Yes.
Now, 4 years later, thanks to the senator and Joe Condo and many other people and good candidates, it switched totally opposite. It's 9 Republicans, 1 Democrat who is the Riley lady.
Yes.
Celeste Riley.
Celeste Riley.
She's running against a tough opponent this year with Tory Lodes.
Tory Lodes, yes.
The only county clerk is all they have is the Democrats have left. So it's been a big transition. And truthfully, and I know, I mean, Senator Testa and Joe Condo and your candidates. I mean, I'm so impressed with how they would be out walking door to door like Bobby did, and I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doug Albrecht, the first year that we ran, Doug Albrecht was running for that seat.
Yes.
Yes, and he had us out everywhere.
Yeah,
and the places I've never heard of, and it was unbelievable. But the effort that he put out, to get that seat, and then it just progressed from there because he was there with the other Democrats, and he was still fighting, and then as progressively, we were able to gain more seats, and it was amazing. But
I sat next to him.
Next to Doug?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was then the only Republican because Joe Spracio ran or had to go serve in the military.
Yes.
So he couldn't be there. But I really thought the world of Joe Spracio. What a great guy. And, now you've got all 7 county commissioners are Republican, and the county sheriff and the county clerk, or county sheriff and the
surrogate. Yes.
And I'll tell you what, this is funny, Antwan. I was saying that I never met Mike Donato. And I've been in government 35 years, right? I said, I never met this guy. And I said, well, it's a good thing you didn't because he worked for the prosecutor.
Yes.
You didn't want him
You wouldn't want to meet him.
Yes. But I tell you what, I got to meet him. He's almost as nice as you.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy.
What a
great
person.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and you don't picture him being a sheriff's officer or any type of law enforcement. He's just a regular guy, but he cares about his community. He cares about people. He has a big heart. So it's good.
Yeah. I was very impressed with him. I didn't know him, but boy, when I got him on the show, I was like, wow, what a really good guy.
Yes.
And of course, the senator, I don't know how much better you can get than him.
Right.
He was on before you. He was on last month. And of course, if you know Senator Testa, he's just amazing. Very charismatic, great speaker. And do you know his mom? If you met
I know his mom very well. I call her mom. I call her Mama Testa. So yes.
Well, she's supposed to come on next month.
Oh, really?
That's what he told me. Yeah.
That's what deputy mayor.
A deputy mayor of University Township.
She's a way better legislator or elected official than he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. Way better.
Well,
way
she's
better.
his mom.
Exactly.
That is really neat, though. She's there. And, of course, the Testas go back to 1956 and Vineland, when I guess his great-grandfather was the mayor as well. So it's amazing. I guess, going back to when you were running for Assembly, that was your first time running for Assembly?
Yes.
You
and Eric, yes.
And, of course, Senator, Mike Testa was running there as well. And at that time, Jeff Van Drew had just won the congressional seat.
Yes.
And he was still a Democrat. So what he did was he put Andrews Act running for Senate, and then it was Bruce Land and
Matt Milo, yes,
who were running for Assembly. I tried, but Van Drew wouldn't let me run. He said,
"So really,
this is funny too. This is a true story because I had the unanimous support. Of course, you'd have beaten me. I don't want to.
No,
the unanimous support of the Cumberland County Democrats. But Jeff, I think it's sort of and I like Matt. Matt,
very nice guy.
He was going to have it.
Yeah.
So he told me. He said to me, Jim, I am the titular head of the Democratic Party, and you're not running.
Oh, wow.
So and I look at it now, and I say, well, I'd have lost. You'd have beaten me, and Eric would have beaten me. But I guess what I get back to is the interesting part of it is he labeled that as the Van Drew team.
Yes.
But because he wasn't there,
it
didn't carry the weight it does when he was on the ballot.
Yes.
I mean, I know he was trying to do what he could do to get those fellas elected, but you guys were tough, and you came in and were able to win. Now, how many years ago was
that? So that was 19.
Okay. So
yes.
It's been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you don't run until next year, right?
Correct.
But the senator's off next year.
The senator's off. Yes. Yeah.
So this will
gets
be your
a little
third
break.
election.
Yes, it'll be my third.
Every 2 years.
Yes, every 2 years.
So as an assemblyman, what are your responsibilities when you go to Trenton? What departments?
So my committees are, I have tourism and gaming.
That's a natural.
Yes. Yeah, especially coming out of Kidney County and things of that nature. So that was good. And then we have Homeland Security. And then also I have appropriations.
Is that like finances?
So we're appropriating the money. So anything that comes through dealing with money, we have to appropriate it and vote it through to get to the floor. So
you must have swung the vote so we could get Wildwood Boardwalk. A lot of money.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of money. But that was the great work of Senator Testa working across the aisle to try to get that done. So we just tried to follow suit. But that was his vision, and he made it come to fruition.
Yeah, which is great.
Yes.
Well, Antwan, I had a home in Seattle City for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Great. 75th and Pleasure. There was my buddy, and then I was right next to him. We were the beach block. And I sold it. Unfortunately, I got divorced, and I sold the house. And that house, I sold it for $800,000 in 2016.
Oh, jeez.
And now it's probably worth $2 million.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't buy anything in Seattle under $1 million. And you know whose fault that is?
Many-Des's area.
What a great guy.
Unbelievable guy. And I think he might know everybody in Seattle.
I think so, too.
It's unbelievable. We've walked in a couple parades and things of that nature, and he knows everybody's name. Everybody knows his name. And it's unbelievable the stuff that he does there, not only as mayor, and he's the commissioner director now.
That's what he's got.
So I think he might be the last one that has the municipal and the county seat, in the state.
Because Seattle runs in May. They don't run in November. And if Millville had stayed with May, I could have done two things, too. I was the mayor, could have, followed, not that I would have gotten elected on the state level, but, it's, maybe if it was earlier with Jeff Andrew. But, so going back to, you grew up in Ocean City.
Yes.
And you went to Ocean City High School.
Yes.
And then what did you do when you got out of high school?
So I went to Virginia State University. Oh, wow. So I was there for a year, then I transferred to Old Dominion University.
Wow.
And so I was there, and then after that, I was working in the casino. I was doing that as a summer job, and then they offered me a full-time position as a slot supervisor. Huh. So I took over that, and I was there for 10 years.
What casino?
Sands.
Okay.
That's no longer there.
Well, the Taj Mahal's not there.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Where's Donald Trump? I had dinner with him at the Taj Mahal. He's not there anymore.
No.
went somewhere else too, I guess.
Yes.
But, that's pretty cool. So now, all right, well, let's follow that. So it was Sands. And then when did you get to go with the county?
So, well, then after that, I went to a law firm called Slater and Tenaglia, Fritz and Hunt in Ocean City.
Oh, okay.
So I worked there for 10 years
did
as
you
well.
do
I was
investigation?
no investigation work. I was the head of collections.
Okay.
So I ran their collections. Well, I didn't run their collections, but I was the second in their collections department. So underneath Jeff Litsky. So I was there for 10 years until Sandy. And then Sandy came, and they got about a foot of water in there. And then they decided to move offshore and up north.
Oh,
So, and then at that time, I was 2 years into my council seat as a councilman, and my roots are in Ocean City, so I wasn't going to be moving or driving, 2-3 hours to go to work.
Right.
And then so after a year or so, I was able to get into the county in the purchasing department.
Oh, okay.
And then Cape May County Sheriff, it was one of my departments in purchasing, and so he liked what I was doing, and he said, would you mind coming over and being my confidential assistant? I said, I would not mind at all.
That's where I thought you were with the
Yes.
sheriff's department. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the sheriff?
Bob Nolan.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in the midst of his third term right now.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, he'll stay there forever.
Yeah, if he wants to. Yes.
Truthfully, folks, you can almost count the Democrats in Cape May County. Really, it's unbelievable. Now Cumberland's getting the same. Joe Condo and I have become friends, and we talk about, other than Greenwich, Fairfield, and Bridgeton, out of the 14 municipalities, they're all Republican. Every single municipality. This is a funny story. I don't know if you know Kenny Wilton.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I know Mayor.
He's mayor.
Yeah,
North
Mayor.
River,
Yes.
right? So, he's been a Democrat. He's a friend of mine. He calls me up and goes, Jim, just want to tell you something. I said, what's that? He said, I switched. I'm a Republican. He said, and I said, good for you. I said, you'll win. And he did. And Mike Visser, another good friend of mine, he flipped over to Republican. And he said to me, you'll still like me? I said, I'll love you. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
What you are. You're a good man. But the red wave has really swept Cumberland County. And again, you're right. It's Senator Testa, Joe Condo, and and all of you. I mean, you all contribute to it, and it's just unbelievable. When you think about 4 years ago in Cumberland County, it was 9-1 Democrat, and now it's 1-9 Democrat.
It's amazing how it turned over. And as I was learning about Cumberland County and seeing the work that Joe Condo was putting in and Senator Testa was putting in his team, they put in a lot of work, a lot of groundwork, and it's paying dividends for them majorly right now. So, and they're celebrating as they should.
And rightfully so. We'll be back with our Assemblyman Antwan McClellan right after we take time out for these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Conflict stuff.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Antwan McClellan, our state assemblyman, is our guest here this evening. And Antwan, you talked about how often do you have to go to Trent's?
We're generally up there maybe 5-6 times a month.
Okay,
something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And let people know too that that's not a full-time job.
Oh no.
So you have to have your regular job. And
yes.
Of course, when you have to go. And she got a long ride from Cape May.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I love Cape May County. I mean, it is just fabulous. I was saying to Antwan before we went on, I know Eric knows. Well, and Senator Testa loves my cousins. They love him at Men's Restaurant.
Yeah,
in fact, I'll be there Saturday night, my sister's birthday. She works there part-time. So I'll be down to see Jay and John and all that. So they're good people. But, when you look at, this is the thing that I've always admired and sort of been jealous of, to be honest with you. When I was a county freeholder of the mayor of Millville, we had no ratables compared. Well, in fact, Ocean City had more ratables than the entire county of Cumberland. And as I just mentioned earlier in the segment, the houses now in Sea Isle, there's nothing under $1 million. So the great thing about it is, your rateable base is fabulous. So you can do the things you want to do. You can do the positive things because you have that revenue. And there's no strain on the school.
Correct.
Very little drain on the police department, although some of these kids, the gangs, are going to be a pain in that. But, generally, what a wonderful community. All of them, Ocean City. My goodness, you don't get better than Ocean City.
No, it's beautiful. And they've the mayor now, and, has done a great job.
Yes, he has.
And so our rateable base is good, and our tax rate payback is great as well. Yeah. And that's important. You got to have the great rateable base, but if they're not paying the taxes, then it's not doing you any good. Yeah. So that's great, and the services are unbelievable. So we just continue to put out that product, of America's greatest family resort, and we celebrate that. And we're a top destination spot for everybody.
Oh, it's fabulous city, Ocean City. It really is. I mean, it was neat. You got to grow up there. That is really nice.
Yes.
What did your mom and dad do?
My mom was a private duty nurse.
Oh, wow.
And she's retired. My father has passed away, but he was a custodian at the school. So
Ocean City.
Yes. No, he was at the primary school. Yes, for the school system. Yeah. So that's what he ended up doing. Retiring. He was a chef prior to that, but then he ended up going there.
That's good.
And then finishing up there before he passed.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
I'm sure he enjoyed being around the kids.
Yes, absolutely.
He had your people skills.
I got it from him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And that's what's interesting. When did you know as a kid that you want to get into public service as an elected officer?
Well, not elected office. I just knew I wanted to give back to my community.
Right.
And that's just from my mom. And my dad helped out a little bit. But my mom is a churchgoer. So, and that's how she supported the community and things of that nature. So I just wanted to do that. And then somebody asked me if I wanted to be involved with the school board. And that's how I started. I started with the school board in 2010. A friend asked me, I said, sure. He lied to me, told me it was only one meeting a month. and I had nothing else, no other responsibilities. And so I found out that was a lie. But it was good.
I've been on school board
yes.
too.
Yeah. And so I served 2 years there. And then the same friend voluntold me to run for council because the young lady there, Karen Bergman, had decided to step down. So, and I born and raised in the Second Ward, so I decided that was my best case, and then that was that. I was there, I won, and then I didn't even think about state politics. We're working for the county, and people getting to know me. They asked me if I would be interested, and I was. So
that's super.
And had a conversation with Senator Testa, then Mike Testa, and then Eric Simonson.
Yeah.
So we kind of had a phone conversation. I knew of Eric, but I didn't know anything about Mike Testa.
Right.
Just was familiar with Vineland from sports, but didn't know him at all. Yeah. And got to know him. We created our own little family. It's a nice little brotherhood that we have, and we love and respect and care for one another, and we're out there fighting.
Yeah, and as I say, I mean, he's amazing. Mike is just. Well, he was on the show. Of course, so are you. You've got a great personality. He was on the show last month, and when I got done the show, I went, "Oh my God, he is amazing. He's just charismatic. He's bright. He's talking to the people and all that kind of stuff." And I mean, you're still young, and Mike is too, really. But the thing is, you guys, in my opinion, can stay there the rest of your life. I don't see the Democratic Party moving forward at all. I mean, Cumberland County, it's very struggling. There's never been one, really, to speak of in Cape May County. There was a nice guy that I got to know that owned the place in Wildwood. He's about your age, young guy.
Oh, Brendan?
Yes.
Brendan, yes.
Yeah.
So Brendan, he was a Republican, and then he switched to Democrat. And he was the Democratic chair.
Yeah, that's how I got
yes,
to know him.
Great guy. And he has great businesses in Wildwood and stuff like that.
That's it.
And then, yes.
What's the place called?
The Mud Hen.
Then he has two more.
Yes.
Down.
Yes.
I was very impressed with he and his dad and how hardworking they are.
And he's there. He's not one of those people that is not going to be there.
That's true.
So you can go in there, you'll see him, and you wouldn't know anything about him because he's in jeans and a t-shirt and some work boots, but he's running around and
what a worker!
Unbelievable.
My God, his whole family.
Yes.
Wow. But again, I mean, he tried, and it just, it's like this is a funny story. There's an attorney in Wildwood, law firm. If you mention his name, I really.
Stefankowitz?
No, he's about my age. This guy, he's old. He has a firm himself, but anyway, he's a Democrat, and we got talking because we were talking about running. He and I as a team for Assembly, and he said, Jim, what we could do, our slogan could be, you don't have to worry about our terms. God's going to limit our terms. I'm so sorry, I can't remember right now.
Oh, man.
He's a really good guy. And again, some really nice people, but there was no way. And again, God bless Jeff Van Drew, because if it wasn't for him, you probably would have never had a Democrat Assembly and Senate. Because he worked so hard.
Yeah.
But, getting back to working hard, and you mentioned that Doug Albrecht had you all over the place.
Yes.
I give your people, the ones that run, so much credit. They are out knocking on doors all the time.
Yes.
I mean, and starting in the summertime even.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm just so impressed that I never did that when I ran. Maybe after Labor Day we'd start doing some stuff, but I mean, it's very good. I think
but you have to do that. You have to be out there and let the people know that you're there. And it's not just in October, right before that November election.
Yeah.
It has to be a year-round thing.
Yeah.
And you're starting to knock on doors and you're getting there. And with Doug, if somebody wasn't there, then he's circling back and getting to that door maybe the next week or the week after that. And he's out by himself or he's out with the group.
Yeah.
And so that's what they do. And that's what Joe Kondo cracks the whip, and he has a schedule for everybody, and they're out there, and everybody has their assignments, and they get out there and do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, that's the great organization that you have that's working for you and doing what it's doing. We had a wonderful woman who's been the chairman of the Democratic Party for many years. In fact, even when I ran back in the 80s, when I ran for Freeholder, Nancy Sungenis, and of course Nancy unfortunately passed away. And it's been difficult. God bless the guy that's got it now. I said, you're a saint to take on that responsibility. It's a tough position to be in. And again, the Democrats, I got elected in 82, and it was Democratic from there up until just a couple of years ago, I guess, when, 10 years. So, I mean, the Democrats had a long time for, many, many years. And, but again, I think the Trump factor was a big one to bring the red wave in. In fact, when I ran for city of Millville, I ran with, the first time ever I ran as a designated party. Usually when I ran in Millville, I just ran as Jim Quinn. But I ran as a Democrat, the dumbest thing I could have done that year because that was the red wave year. And out of the 5 positions, I finished 4th. And I was, honestly, this is no lie, I was praying I'd finish 6th so I didn't have to go. So I ended up getting a new business started, and I said, I'm not going to do this. I just resigned before I took over the position. Plus, I wasn't real happy with a couple of people that got there. Although, do you know Ben Romanek?
I know Ben very well.
Yeah, he's
absolutely.
a good guy.
Yes, he's a very good guy.
It's funny. Ben's grandpa, Steve Romanek, was a city commissioner for 16 years in the city of Millville.
Oh, wow.
As a Democrat. And he was also the director of the welfare agency. And so I was on the as a member Freeholder, I was on the board of the welfare agency. So we'd go out to dinner afterwards and stuff. But he was a pro football player for the Chicago Bears, Chicago Cardinals.
Oh, I did not know
And
that.
was quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to talk to Ben about that. He didn't let me know, but yeah. So that's awesome. And then even before Ben, he was with Lisa as well. Lisa, yes, absolutely. So they did a great job, and they were at events. So Joe Kondo had them out and about.
Yeah.
And so Senator Testa has his breakfasts every 2 weeks. In Vineland, and those fellows, people from Millville will come over.
Yeah, I know Ben's always stuff about going and stuff like that. The one thing on the downside, I guess, would be that Lisa was getting some flack and some stuff said that wasn't true and that type of thing. And what I see now that I didn't have to deal with, because I've been out now, 3 years, I guess, or whatever, and I never had to deal with Facebook and the misinformation and things people say that aren't true. This is funny. I got some guy ripping me the other day that I brought Section 8 housing to Millville. And I'm thinking, pal, that's not true, but that's okay. You can say whatever the heck you want to say, because I'm not running for office.
Right.
And then somebody else made some comment about something that I supposedly did that I didn't do. And I said, geez, I'm glad I'm not elected, because it'd be every day.
It would be all your fault. Yes.
This was something that a friend of mine told me, and she was right. In 2008. I mean, I really worked very hard. Senator Van Drew helped us. We had a lot of people helping us to bring in the New Jersey Motorsports Park.
Okay.
And we went all over Texas, Virginia, meet with Bruton Smith and the different people to woo them to come to Millville to start the Motorsports Park. So I was the mayor. And then it came, and in 2009, I finished second to Tim Shannon, who's a great guy. But this person said to me, you know why you lost, right? The Motorsports Park. Well, what happened was the noise from the Motorsports Park drove the people crazy. And that's a funny story. A friend of mine and I were flipping houses 4 or 5 years ago. One of the houses we bought was like across the street from the Motorsports Park. And one of my people that was saying to me, Jim, don't let them know about the park, or they won't buy that house. But let me tell you the good side of the Motorsports Park. Besides bringing in tens of thousands of people, tourism from all over Connecticut, I mean everywhere, New York, they decided, and they built these exotic car garages, which are there for the car, and then upstairs is an apartment.
Yes.
So, Antwan, I think they're up to over 300 of those. What they're doing, they're building them around the track. I think there's 10 units, and every time I see another 10 units done, they're doing 10 more. And of course, nowadays, a house costs $300 is cheap, and the people can't live there full time. But the benefit to the city of Millville, that rateable, is there's no kids in school, there's no real crime you have to worry about. So it's like almost like being in Ocean City.
Yeah, that's true. That motor park is unbelievable, and I know South Jersey Chamber had an event there, and I've been there for food truck events.
Yes.
And but it's unbelievable to go out there, and my wife took me there for one of my birthdays to race the go karts, and
that's cool.
So it's an exciting thing and a great thing for Millville.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my God, it's been a wonderful, and especially as I say, with those exotic car garages giving that rateable base too, because without that, there are some ratables, the buildings they have where you had your birthday and all that stuff, but that really solidified the Motorsports Park. There's got to be millions and millions of ratables in that portion of it alone, which Millville and all of Cumberland County really can use the rateable base. Nick Aselda is a good friend of mine.
Yes,
Nick.
Senator Aselda, yes. Yeah.
And he and I both have a pet peeve. And I got to tell you, this is an interesting story. Larry Bathgate is a very high up, well-heeled Republican. And when I was the mayor, he and I had a meeting in Cherry Hill at a luncheon there. And what Larry wanted to do was the Holly Farm, which is on Route 49 in Millville. There was 1,300 acres of land for sale. Larry wanted to buy the 1,300 acres. 300 of the acres he was going to use for 55 and over housing and a golf course.
Okay.
So, and the other 1,000 he was going to donate back to Nature's Conservancy. And I mean, this guy was really up with the Republicans. He was friends with George Bush, Dick Cheney. He was leaving me to go to Washington that night and have dinner with George Bush.
Oh, wow.
But he couldn't get it done environmentalists killed it, just killed it. And Nick and I have talked about that. He tried to put a sod farm in. No. I mean, come on, folks. Could you imagine today, had he been able to put in those, he was going to build 955 and over houses, 100 a year for 9 years.
Right.
It would have been about now. It would have been done. The ratables the city of Millville had, I think, would have been about $450 million in ratables for those 900 homes.
It changes things.
It's gone. It's gone. And then the other thing they had was the environmentalists killed a deal on Wade Boulevard in Millville. All my life, that was the industrial park. And some people I know sold land to Duran because Duran was going to expand. And Duran decided they weren't going to expand. So Duran had it set up to sell it to Railing Dynamics, a group of people I brought to Millville when I was the mayor. They make the railings for the shore and that type of stuff. They were going to build a 400,000 square foot warehouse or shop to do the stuff. But I hired 500 people. Guess what? All of a sudden, the environmentalists must have found something. That land, and it had railroad siding and everything. Off the books. They went to Atlantic County too, so we lost them even in the first district. And it's like, folks, come on, there's got to be compromise. My God, if you look at Cumberland County, probably 75% of it's preserved now. How about preserving the people so that they can have a good living and not have to pay? I tell you, this is a story of taxes. I told you I did home in Sea Isle, right?
Yes.
When I had the house in Sea Isle, at that time was valued at maybe $500,000. My taxes in Sea Isle were like $500 a month. In Millville, I had a house in Millville that was assessed at $250,000. My taxes in Millville were $1,200 a month. Wow! So you see how important it is. That's the problem that you deal with. So people in Millville, Vineland, and even Bridgeton and stuff, the taxes are a lot higher than Cape May County. I mean, that's what's wonderful. The prices in Cape May County were so high, everybody's there. But it's still it's good, and you got some great communities too, Upper Township. And all
definitely, and that's the talk that we have with people is that the initial nut to get in is big, but if you see what you're paying in taxes, it makes more sense to try to make that purchase because you're going to save the money in your taxes.
And you value your property.
And the value of property. Correct.
You know Joe Mitchell, by any chance?
I do not.
Great guy. He's in Seattle. His wife, and he has a house in Seattle. And he was on radio up here with me, and now he works for PBS in Philadelphia. But super guy. We were talking last night about Seattle and his house and how wonderful it is, and all the things that are there. So, but Ocean City, like you said, my God, you can't find a better place in Ocean City. It's just fabulous. I mean, the boardwalk's great. I take my grandchildren down there, take the rides, and in fact, I was there for Miss New Jersey pageant. I guess they switched that to Atlantic City, but it was an Ocean City music
for a while. Yes, for a long time.
Do you know Bob Rose?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so unbelievable. He does. I know he books all the events.
Yeah, exactly.
And, for us at the music pier, and I think he does some stuff in Cape May as well.
Yeah.
So but one of the nicest people you can meet.
Yeah, it really is. Bob and I go way back. We're talking with Antwan McClellan, who is our state assemblyman, and we'll be back to talk more with Antwan right after these messages.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
When life gives you lemons,
make lemonade.
There's only one person who can truly change tartness into sweetness.
Bitterness into happiness.
His name is Jesus Christ. We can introduce you to him this Sunday. Then, you'll understand his instruction manual.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest is our State Assemblyman Antwan McClellan. And now, when you go to the state, as you said, Senator Testa has to reach across the aisle because the Democrats control the state of New Jersey still, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And so it's important, and I think just the relationships we build across the aisle is very important because there's common goals and common needs that we all have, and everybody's not really familiar with what we call the real South Jersey, and it's coming down here, and there's a lot of stuff that resonates down here that definitely resonates up in North Jersey as well. So it's very easy for us to have that conversation and invite people to come down and see what's going on in Legislative District 1. Right. And once they get down here and see the issue and the problem and the concern, and they realize that, we might have that issue up north as well. Yeah. So why don't we get together on some legislation and try to make that happen? And so it's very easy to do. We did it, in two with the prior two Assembly people in two and Senator in two, and then now that's flipped to Republican. So we have a common interest in Atlantic City and Atlantic County. And then in Cumberland County, we work well with 3 and 4 as well. So we'll continue that. I
was going to ask you about my buddies in 3. John Berticelli, of course.
Berticelli is.
But who I really like too is Dave Bailey.
Mm-hmm. His very nice guy.
I went to his dad's funeral. His dad was a phenomenal minister. Mm-hmm. And luckily, my friend and I said, we better get there early. And we were able to at least get into the funeral home. We came out, the line was 3 blocks long. It was in Woodstown, and his dad was loved, and I had him on the show. Very, very nice man. I don't know the woman that's there.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with her, but Senator Berticelli was an assemblyman when we first got elected, and I was in appropriations. He was the chair of that committee. Okay. So we had a lot of good laughs, and he always looked out. He's a very nice guy, so I'm very knowledgeable. Yeah. So, and I know that he and Senator Testa are working on the bill together, as we speak, to deal with the smoking ban in Atlantic City. So they're working on that together. So there, you have it again, bipartisan.
Is it what's going to happen? What would you like to see happen?
Well, the hope is there's some sort of bridge. So not necessarily a total ban, but let's do some things to make it a lot more easier, a lot more receptive to people that want to be in the smoking section. There's other casinos throughout the country that have done some things with better filtration systems. Oh. They've had the ability to close off a complete section, like if you go into the airport and they have that select room or a room that has some outside space that can allow some air to ventilate through that. So we're trying to work with that and see if we can come up with an idea to make it more palatable for the casinos, and also a lot better for the workers.
Yeah, that's
the most important thing. Because they're sitting there and they can't move. Yeah, those dealers, and they're getting smoke just blown in their face. That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. When I go to the casino and I get near the smoking area, I go the other way as much as you can. But at least I can move. Those people who are stealing blackjack, they can't.
They can't go anywhere. No. Yeah, they're stuck there. At least when I was in slots, I was able to move, and I preferred to work in the non-smoking section myself. But you can move around. Yeah, the dealers cannot. Yeah, so we definitely have to look out.
I'll tell you what, especially at my age, when I was in high school, probably 70% of my friends smoked. I couldn't stand it. I thought, what in the world? That smoke got my eyes. It's like, no, thank you. I don't want to smoke. And thank God. Although I got to tell you a funny story. The lady that cuts my hair, her father is 92 years old, smokes a pack a day. Wow. So don't do that, folks. But it's like and especially now, I'm sure a lot of people that smoked are dealing with lung cancer and some problems that go along with that as well. Yes. cancer is very prevalent.
Yes,
Yeah,
and secondhand smoke is just as bad.
That's true.
So we have to be able to protect the workers, especially in that industry. Here that's one of the biggest industries here, and then tourism and gaming and things of that nature. So we got to make sure we protect the workers.
Yeah, very good point.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is, and it's just so many wonderful things in Cape May, and Atlantic County. Certainly the casinos are nice, but you know what? I'd rather be in Ocean City than Atlantic City.
Well, me too.
Well, I mean, other than going into the casino,
Yes.
I don't want to walk the boardwalk. I'd rather walk your boardwalk.
Yes.
And now I got to ask you, what is this will be a tough question. What is your favorite pizza?
In Ocean City?
Yes.
So, I'm a Mario's guy, so I kind of like Mario's. It's not on the boardwalk.
Oh, okay.
Mario's is off the boardwalk, so I prefer Mario's.
Okay.
And they're open year round. And
that's good.
Yeah, so Mako is okay. I know everybody loves Mako, but I'm more of a Mario's guy.
Oh, that's good. At least you're honest about that.
Yes.
This is funny because I have club box or Hall of Fame seats at the Phillies games, and now Manco is at Citizens Bank Park,
right?
And it's pretty good. It's funny. I know Senator Testa puts a lot of times on Facebook his pizza things. I actually owned a pizzeria when I was in my early 20s in Millville.
Oh, really?
Millville called Bim's. It's still there. At 50,
I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah. Joey Pierce. Joey's wife just passed away. Joe, my sympathies to you. But I really enjoy that. But what happened growing up in Cumberland County, the person who made most of the pizza was a guy named Dan Bruni. And Dan, so I basically hired Joey, who used to work for Dan, and so I got Dan's formula for the sauce and the cheese and all that stuff. And so you sort of get. Did you grow up eating the pizza that you're eating now?
Yes.
That's what I think comes. We're so familiar with it. It tastes very good to us,
Right.
And I mean, it is what it is. Of course, I don't know if there's ever any bad pizza. Now, how do you stay in such great shape?
Just running. I'm running all the time, and try to work out a little bit as much as possible. But you're out and about, try not to eat too late. Hanging with Senator Testa is a problem because he finds a place to eat, and and when he's out on the campaign trail, we manage to eat like everywhere. And so there's a lot of great places in Cumberland County that he's introduced me to. So it's always fun to be with him, but it's taxing on the body because you're going to have a great, delicious meal from wherever. So it's good though.
Yeah, in fact, Joe Kondo and I went to a place down here, Mariggy Savoy Inn.
Mariggy's, yes.
Joe, I think Joe goes there Tuesday night or whatever, but we had a really nice meal. And there are a lot. Eastland, there's a whole bunch of
they do a lot
restaurants.
of
And I know Senator Testa and his father like the Olympia. It's
a
Greek restaurant.
The Greek restaurant,
and
yes.
There's another, Eric's, I think, it's a Greek restaurant. Oh, I got to ask you this, though. What's the three-legged stool? Tell everybody what the three-legged stool was. I found out about that.
So that's Senator Testa, Assemblyman Simonson, and myself. And so we're a three-legged stool. So without one leg, you're going to be rocking. So we're in this together, and we're supporting one another.
Well, and also take it to another level was what he had said, and I think Joe Kondo and I talked about too, is the good thing is you're coming from Ocean City, which is one of the heavily populated.
Yes.
And Eric from Lower
Township, which is at the bottom. So I'm at the top of Cape May County.
Right.
Eric's at the bottom of Cape May County, and then Senator Testa's here in Cumberland County. So it just kind of it worked. It worked that way very
really
well.
Does, doesn't it?
So it did.
Yeah.
So it really ended up being a really good thing for us to come together as a team.
Yeah.
Because we had the Cape May County sewed up from top to bottom, and he was in here in Cumberland County.
Yeah.
So you got to have the geographic diversity as well as the diversity on the ticket. It just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and I think Joe said to me, Jim, when you look at it, the population in Ocean City, Lower Township, of course, Senator up here,
yes.
and really, like when we talk about Sea Isle's permanent population is maybe 2,500 people.
Yes, yeah.
Because people buy homes, they rent them, they use them themselves, and all that kind of stuff. So the full Ocean City has a good full-time population.
So we're about around 9,000-10,000.
Yeah.
Lower is the biggest.
Yes.
With as far as the amount of people that they have. and then Middle, which is our county seat, has a good population as well. But Ocean City also can draw from Upper Township because Upper Township is a sending district in Ocean City. So a lot of those families that are in Upper Township have Ocean City roots. So they kind of know. So it kind of makes sense that it worked out that way.
Yeah, it really is wonderful. I got to tell you something you probably don't know. The former mayor of Bridgeton lives in it's Upper Township, but it's the one on the water. Not Townsend's Inland. No, it's the other one. Strathmere. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, he and I talk a lot. He's got a gorgeous home right on the ocean.
And you forget that Strathmere is Upper Township because it's right there next to Sea Isle.
But you know what's funny? Yeah, that's the point. I think you probably know this too. Strathmere wanted to join up with Sea Isle because my buddy pays $22,000 a year taxes on his house in Strathmere. In Sea Isle, that house probably be $2,000.
Yes, right.
Maybe a little bit more, maybe $5. But that's a lot. But again, that goes back to the rateable base. And Upper Township doesn't have all the barrier island houses that Sea Isle has.
Right.
You know, that thing. And I've always gone to Sea Isle as a kid. My family would go there, and you got used to that as a teenager. Really enjoyed it, and always go there to the beach and stuff like that. And then when I had this was a funny story. When I first bought my first property in Sea Isle, it was at the Townsend House condominiums, and they were in the Townsend's Inland section. And it was only $125,000 in 1989. Now it's $1 million. Anyway, the funny thing was, I would say to my friends, I bought a property in the I didn't say slum, but the poor section of Avalon. Because Avalon, we haven't talked about that. There's big Avalon and Stone Harbor.
And those properties in Avalon and Stone Harbor change things.
Yes, they do.
Yes, and their populations are very small, but their houses are very big. So it's a different animal in those two cities.
Yeah, it sure is. But some great, and Cape May, what a beautiful, quaint community.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many wonderful places in Cape May County. My sister's lives in Lower Township. She had her husband. He was from Lower, and they got married. She moved to Lower Township also. Shunpike?
Shunpike, yes. Yeah.
So, where she got, we haven't talked about in all this time.
What was that?
Bill Pikaliski.
Oh, Mayor Woodbine. Yes.
For like 30-some years.
Yes, absolutely. Mayor Pick is going nowhere.
Exactly. And he's my buddy. We go to games together, we have to dinner together and stuff like that. But I've known him forever. He's done a really good job.
He's done a great job with Woodbine. And, I mean, the thing about Little Woodbine is known throughout the state because of him.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Right. I'll go places, not just the State House. I could be up North Jersey. They're like, Mayor Pick, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And he's there socializing, talking with people, and doing things and trying to make Woodbine better.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable lobbyist, and not only just for Woodbine, but for Cape May County as a whole, because he celebrates that and holds us up.
It's just recently he got big bucks. Was it Senator Booker helped him?
Senator Booker, yes.
Well, you were probably there at the airport.
At the airport, So that day was very interesting because Senator Booker came down and we were at the Bay Shore. So he
went for the sewer thing. I saw a big picture.
Yeah, so it was money for that, and then he went to Woodbine, and he had gotten money for Mayor Pick for Woodbine for the airport.
Right. Yes.
So there's a lot of great things that are going on here, and Mayor Pick has done a lot for Woodbine.
He sure has. Bob Campbell. When I was freeholder, we worked with him on putting in the sewer line in Fortescue and Andy's Beach. There's another situation where the properties are already doubling in value because the people know they won't have to worry about the septic.
Correct.
And that's a wonderful thing. And I always say, from being a Cumberland County person, that's our other Jersey Shore.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
The Bay Shore community is unbelievable. I didn't know anything about the Bay Shore community until I got involved. And it's unbelievable. Great sunsets, great food, and great people.
You have to know Sybil.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we go there and eat. And,
I've seen pictures.
You go sit out there and have a beautiful. So, Fortescue is unbelievable, and we have a great Bay Shore community, and people don't know about it. People should get more involved and kind of go. Bivalve is unbelievable. Yeah. So Cumberland County has a lot of hidden gems.
Yeah, they really do. Even on the west side, where you've got the Cohansey River, and there's some really nice places and things that are there. So anyway, I guess the whole region, you have all of Cape May County, obviously.
Yes.
What don't you have in Cumberland County?
Wow. Well, we now have Bridgeton. So they took Greenwich away from us.
Okay.
And I can't remember the other municipalities.
Well, you got Stowe Creek and Upper Deerfield and Deerfield, I think, that aren't part of yours, are they?
No.
Okay. I think that's part of the 3rd district.
Yes. So that got moved to the 3rd district, and there was a couple other smaller municipalities that they got moved into the 3rd district as well. Yes.
Shiloh.
Shiloh. Yeah. So it was interesting because there's a lot of great places, and like Greenwich is like a sneaky great place.
It is
unbelievable.
It's like one of Williamsburg.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Gracious! It's a hidden gem.
It really is.
It was very disappointing to lose that. Because you can kind of go out there and hang out and do things like that. But
Joe Condo told me they're Democrats, so you don't want to.
Yeah, well, but we had a good time there. That's for sure. It's a real good time and a lot of history there. And that's the other good thing about Cumberland County is the history here.
Yeah, that's true.
And the people don't realize what type of history Cumberland County has, and it's unbelievable. So to learn that and get involved in that, but Bridgeton is great too. We've been in, Bridgeton is now in our legislative district, and we've been getting there and learning Mayor Kelly and the Bridgeton Council.
You've been helping with the Complete Care, so you know Curtis.
Curtis.
He's great.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. The knowledge he has and the things that he does.
Organization does for all the area. My God, Gateway County, Cumberland County. We're up in Gloucester County now. Opening a men's center.
Right, and Complete Care is doing some great things, and we're talking about trying to promote them more in Cape May County, especially with the Veteran Smile program that they have, the free dental care for veterans. So and to do that in Wildwood is unbelievable because there's a high veteran population in Cape May County.
That's true.
So we want to make sure that they know that Complete Care is in Wildwood. And we can do some things with them to help them out. And so it's a lot of great things that are going on in Bridgeton. And speaking with Senator Testa, he's the chair of the manufacturing caucus. And to learn how big manufacturing was here in Cumberland County, and him traveling around the state to try to bring that back, to Cumberland County, and the jobs and the things that can happen with manufacturing is endless. So we need to you're talking about jobs. That's a career.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to bring that back.
Yeah, we had many that unfortunately, have gone away. But it's wonderful to keep working to try to bring that back because your district is tourism. Is the number one thing that drives the first legislative district, and Vineland is phenomenal. I mean, Mayor Finucci has done a great job here.
Unbelievable job.
It's just the things there. The cold storage places are. I'm sure you've been to a lot of industrial parks.
Yes.
My God, it's jammed. One of my buddies has homemade trucking. I go out and see him. Going, geez, Ray, this place is unreal everywhere. There's no space. I mean, they're doing so well. Sandy Morsiski does a great job as their economic development person.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
So we're just here on Sunday for the Vineland Food Truck Festival. And
that's right.
And it was unbelievable. And the things that Vineland does, their Christmas parade is fabulous. So, and, their council is great. So we've managed as a legislative district to make sure that we get along with the municipalities, the mayors, and the council people. And doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. We try to make sure we're involved and they know us. And if they need anything, we're here to help them. We've been able to establish some great relationships, and I think that's the most important as a legislator. To know your municipalities and those local elected officials and be able to have those relationships with them. And so here in Cumberland County, Senator Testa's kind of taking us around to make sure that they know us and we know them, and we've done the same in Cape May County with him.
That's great.
And so we just try to make sure that we're involved in our municipalities and do what's right for them.
Before we wrap up, give Anthony some credit. Tell everybody who this guy is. It's with
who?
Mr. Carter.
Yes, Mr. Carter. So Anthony Carter, a Vineland guy, is the chief of staff for Eric Simonson and myself.
Oh, that's super.
So he started off, working, for Senator Testa and helping us as we were running an election. We were able to hire him, and he's moved his way up. So he's babysitting us.
Oh, that's good.
And I don't know if he thinks it's good, but we enjoy him, and anything that goes on, he has his pulse on it. And I think that's the most important thing is that he has the great relationships with our state officials, so you can call up to any state department and get anybody help. And so the knowledge that he's had, and especially of the area, just Cumberland County as a whole, he can tell you which street somebody's on, or somebody's house, or he can tell you who's related to who. So it helps out tremendously. The problem we have is during the summer, he's a Phillies fan. So he's at like 10 Phillies games a week.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to Phillies tomorrow night, actually.
So he's up and about, but so it's tough to time down during the summer. But other than that, he's good, and he's very helpful to a lot of people, and that's our staff in general. We have Arvine Kilby,
I love her.
who's unbelievable.
She's amazing.
She's heading the Vineland office, and tries to keep us out of trouble up here. And so it's good. We got some great people working for us, and people that are embedded in the community. And I think that's the most important part. We're not hiring anybody that's just from somewhere else. We're hiring people from in the community that are doing great things in the community. Yeah, so we love it. So Anthony, he's hanging out late tonight. So that means he'll be late tomorrow, but that's all right. But that's normal.
Sorry to keep you guys out.
No, it's all right.
I ran against Arvine, the nicest person I've ever
really?
run against. Yeah, I for County Freeholder years ago, but just a sweetheart.
Yeah, yes, she is.
Really
yes, no doubt.
Which, in fact, my daughter had some thing she needed called Arvine. She got it done for. And that's the thing, folks, too. When you have needs, your assembly people and their staff are there to help you and steer you in the right direction, whatever you need to know. And that's what's really nice.
Yes, and be that conduit to make sure that these state programs that they are invested in get back to them. Right. Because that doesn't always happen. When during COVID, people were having problems with unemployment and things of that nature, and we were the unemployment office pretty much, unfortunately. But fortunately, we were there, and during COVID to make sure that people could get to the mechanisms to get their shots and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things that we do, and now people with licenses trying to help through the DMV, and also nurses and teachers that are trying to get certified, and so there's a lot of things that we can negotiate and help navigate.
Right.
And make sure that happens.
Well, my friend, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And
Greatly appreciate
Bobby's birthday next year. You'll have to
yes, I'll come
bring
back.
Bobby.
Yeah, we won't bring Bobby. Nobody wants to see a Chiefs fan.
That's true. Yes.
Yes.
They are a heck of a team, and the kid from Vineland's on.
Yes, Pacheco. Yes.
Yeah,
so Bobby Barr got to meet him last year. So.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And the other neat thing though is Buddy Kennedy is from Millville. Buddy got his first RBI the other night.
I saw that for the Phillies, yes.
Yeah, and his grandpa was Don Money, so I've had those two on the show, and Buddy's a great kid. So, of course, there are not a lot of open spots on the Phillies right now, but, he's there, and I hope he stays for a while. But, Antwan, thanks again for coming up. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Tell the senator and the other assemblyman I said hello.
I will.
Right.
Absolutely. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us, folks, this evening here on Around South Jersey. This is Insight. This is Mayor Finucci. And Mayor opted not to come in during the election, which to his credit, and have other representatives. So we've had Mayor Testa, and we've got Assemblyman Antwan McClellan here. And next month, the Senator said his mom's coming. So that'll be great. So, anyway, Brian Norowski, thank you for producing the show. Folks, thanks for being with us here at the Quinn Restaurant, Lincoln and Landis Avenue in Vineland. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.